distribution sector is filled with stories of companies that steadily climbed from humble beginnings to become major players by consistently anticipating where the industry was headed and evolving in order to meet it. Today, that increasingly means embracing a revolution in technology and automation, which tends to mean artificial intelligence in particular, and Endries International has made its intentions clear. The distributor, established in its founder's eastern Wisconsin basement more than 50 years ago, has grown into a $500 million per year operation following decades of ambitious acquisition and expansion efforts, including a sophisticated vending program that not only provides industrial supplies, but improves how they're used. Endries President and CEO Michael Knight joins Industrial Distribution to discuss how the company is deploying AI and where it's headed next. So thanks for being with us. There's obviously a great deal of kind of broader discourse around AI these days, but just kind of from a practical perspective for Endries in particular, how is it deployed in your operations as it stands today?
Yeah, so we're like a lot of companies, I would say, in the early stages of rolling out AI through actually a bunch of different functions within the business. Our ERP provider is Infor. We're on SXE, actually in the process of moving to the cloud. And we are taking advantage of the Infor, what they call today augmented intelligence services. So it's based on Infor AI, and working on quite a few projects with that group. The first two of which are just wrapping up right now, which I'm really excited about. One has to do with part matching. In my business, we get a lot of inquiries from customers where it's based on a customer description. There are not industry standard part numbers per se. And so we have to decode that description and match it to something that we've got. And this is also very prevalent in acquisitions, and we're an acquisitive company. So when a new company joins the family and we start trying to match up their parts database with our parts database, almost always there's not a kind of a one-to-one part number matching. So we're using an Infor AI to actually go through and do that matching very quickly. This is something that can take a long time. Now it happens very rapidly. And then we get a secondary benefit from that. Once we have that, we can then match that against an existing activity. And if it's something new to us, make some assumptions and actually assign a cost to it. So if we have something that is, for all intents and purposes, almost identical to something else that we're already doing business on, we can make some assumptions that the cost is going to be about the same, which allows us to instantly quote the customer on custom parts, on something that's unique to that customer, which speeds things up quite a bit, eliminates a lot of back and forth. Sometimes it can take weeks of back and forth to finally get something precise enough that we can give a very precision quotation. And so anyway, those are the first two. And as we've gotten deeper into those, other things have become obvious through the business. So we've got actually at this point a laundry list of AI projects to follow this one.
Yeah. You guys are, of course, no stranger to using technology and a bunch of your systems and platforms. Can you kind of walk us through a little bit about how you made the decision to kind of embrace AI and kind of what that path looked like for you guys?
Yeah. So like most companies, we've been talking about it for a while, trying to figure out the best jumping in point, kind of waiting for the technology to get to a point where it was easy to deploy. And Infor made it very easy for us in that they've integrated the technology into our core platform, which of course is where all our data resides. So, the data that we need to get to come up with, actionable insights is connected to the AI we're using. And then I think it's also important to point out that related to this is the Infor robotic process automation. Because robotic process automation and AI, why they're different things, are kind of like peanut butter and jelly often. The RPA is very useful for kind of formatting the data in a way that then makes it easier for the AI to act on. So we're actually implementing projects across the business, both with RPA and AI. So that's how we jumped into it, and we're very much on a learning curve here. So every day we get new insights, new understanding of how powerful this can be in our business, which I dare say is kind of the norm for most companies at this stage.
Yeah, I think so. This is all, you mentioned that the couple of things you guys have going are still kind of in their very new stages. So this might be kind of a tricky question, but I'm kind of curious if you see any other areas where AI might be an opportunity for you guys, any other applications of the business where that might be involved.
Yep. So the short list is pricing recommendations, and this isn't a new application. There have been standalone companies who have developed algorithms for coming up with a recommended price. They've been around for quite a while, but AI is a particularly easy way to do that, embedded within your core business platform. We've got that project spec'd out, and that'll not just come up with costing, but then based on market segments, volumes, similarity to other customer profiles, etc., come back with a recommended price, which will make us a lot smarter on that side of our business. We're going to use it for looking at and scrubbing customer forecasts. We get a lot of forecasts in our business that you kind of run the gambit from absolutely not helpful to actually, truth be told, most of them aren't super helpful. A forecast is maybe good for a second or two standalone. So we're looking at our entire history with a customer's forecast, looking at their performance to that forecast, their consumption of that forecast, and then using AI to actually scrub it so that we can upload it into our planning system. That's going to be a biggie for us. The other area that I haven't actually heard talked about yet for AI that I'm really excited about is using it to complete survey requests from customers. And these run the gambit and oftentimes can be very time consuming. And a lot of times it's the same kinds of questions as asked differently that all the customers are asking. And instead of having people chew through that, we want to use AI to normalize it and then look at a database of answers that we've accumulated. And I think it won't take long for us to be able to use AI to do a pretty thorough first pass. I just completed one for an automotive customer that took a couple of people 2 weeks of time to get through. And if I could have done that with an AI, that would have been absolutely amazing. And this, by the way, because of regulatory trends and other things, we're not going to get the genie back in the bottle on this one. I think all of us are going to be struggling with customer surveys. And the last one I'll mention that I'm really excited about that we're getting ready to kick off is what we call a white space analysis. So when we look at the business we do with a customer and we break it into product categories and then compare the business that we're doing with other similar customers, we can start to identify where there are white spaces in our product sales profile with a customer and start to put nuance on that and then work that into the sales team workflow. So, they know what to focus on. So, hey, we're doing these 3 things for you. And similar customers, we do another 3 things quite well. And would like to understand, when you have a conversation with the customer, I'd like to understand where they source that. And if there's an opportunity for some consolidation, instead of having 2 sources for 6 things, they could have 1 source for 6 things. And that's what we call white space. So those are, and then there are a whole bunch beyond that, but those are the most immediate ones that I think are really going to be needle movers for our business.
Okay. And then this is all part of kind of a broader discussion in the distribution industry. You've been in your role now for a little under 2 years, and it's kind of evolved the market to kind of this interesting spot we're in right now. So, can you just kind of talk through how Endries is kind of addressing the kind of mixed industry we're seeing kind of in the current environment?
Yeah, so we sell to OEM manufacturers, primarily in the industrial space, and that sector got a little sleepy coming out of last summer. So it's been about a year where it's what I would say it's kind of been off its feet a little bit, and it's been a challenge. I think all of us are going through this. Our core business has been soft, but is actually starting to show some signs of perking up. I mean, these things are cycles, and it's what we talk about as a team a lot. That this too shall pass, and I would bet money. In fact, I am betting money that this is the bottom of the cycle. Actually, I think the bottom of the cycle is a month or two behind us. But that said, the environment's very it's very challenging, and it's full of all kinds of mixed signals that are kind of keeping people in their foxhole, keeping our customers in a foxhole a little bit. But I also know that we tend to overreact both ways. And on the way down, we tend to be overly conservative. We tend to cut more than we should. And then when it becomes obvious that things are on the rebound, there's always kind of a mad scramble. So, in fact, before the end of this calendar year, I'm expecting actually demand to improve a fair amount and then run strong going into next year. So it's yeah, that's what we're dealing with, but it's a moment in time, and we're playing the long game here.